Beautiful people of the internet, hello and welcome to another live stream, a morning live stream, not a extremely early live stream for this morning, but we're here at about 10 o'clock, so still a morning stream. We're here. How's everybody doing? Let's see who gets first in chat today while I pull up comments on my end. We've got an interesting topic in store for you today. So feeling foreign, feeling odd, feeling strange, feeling weird. Weird is probably the best term to use here. Just feeling generally weird during or after anxiety recovery. Now, this is one that I get often, asked about from time to time. It's not one that pops up very often. But I still think it applies. I think for most people it applies. For most people, they experience what we're about to talk about. So I just want to cover it. I want to make sure we leave no stones unturned here. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Kay, Omar, Sanchez, Kate, what is up? Liz, Christopher, Sherry, what is up? Cher, what's up? Ghost, what's up? Welcome, guys. Sanity, what is up? Man, chat is filling up today. Okay, maybe this was a bit more popular of a topic than I even thought. So, okay, here we are. Truth, what is up? I'm here doing art. Another good morning with accepting the feelings. That is awesome. Welcome to the stream. Holy shit. Comments are just rolling in. Comments are just rolling in. Let's see. So we'll save any questions till after the stream, because this stream might answer most of your questions for you. I know we're on a particular topic, but we normally cover a lot of different things during our streams. So chances are we will stumble off the topic a little bit and cover the bases. What's up, AP? What's up, Travis? What's up? What's up? All right, guys. Normally I say let's wait around a little bit and wait for the stream to get full before we get started, but we're 2 minutes into this thing and we've already got a full chat. We might as well get going now. So what are we going to be talking about today, chat? Today we're going to be talking about feeling weird, foreign, strange, odd, whatever words you want to use there, during or after anxiety recovery. Now, as I said, this is not one that I get asked about all the time. It's not a very common one, but it is one that I do get from time to time. So, there might be a lot of people out there who can relate to this, maybe not, but it's still a good one to cover. So, what exactly do I mean by feeling odd or feeling weird during or after anxiety recovery? Now, this does not apply to everyone. Disclaimer, this does not apply to everyone, but maybe to some people. So when you first learn about acceptance, you start using acceptance, right? Intrusive thoughts are there. You're no longer trying to push them away or fight with them or argue with them. You're just saying, yep, it is what it is. You're just embracing them. You're allowing these what ifs to play out. Okay, there it is. So be it. If it happens, it happens. You first learn about acceptance. You start accepting the feelings. You're not adding a bunch of worry to them, right? You're using the two main keys. You're doing great. And then what happens? What could happen? You might start feeling a bit weird. You might start feeling a bit odd. Let me explain this feeling, and I'm going to try to put it into my own words, and maybe, hopefully, you guys can relate, but this is kind of what it felt like for me when I really started to dedicate to acceptance, and I started to see progress, and I started to notice that I was embracing the thoughts and feelings. I wasn't trying to fight with them. I would have moments, right, usually short-lived. I'm not saying that's always the case, but usually short-lived. I would have moments where I felt very out of place in my environment, very out of place in my world, very out of place kind of in my life. Now, saying it like that is sort of the best way that I can personally describe it. Just feeling out of place, like you don't really know what to do with yourself. Now that you're starting to make progress, so much progress against anxiety, you don't really know what to do with yourself. Now that you're starting to live a life that's not so consumed by anxiety, you don't really know what to do with yourself. Now that your entire world does not revolve around anxiety anymore, right? And it can be a very strange, odd, and foreign feeling, because I almost compare it to taking a fish and putting it into a new fish tank. Right? For so long, for how many weeks, I mean, you have to answer this question for yourself, but how many weeks, how many months, how many years have you been a anxious person or a panicky person, right? Probably for a very long time. So when you first start using acceptance, or even during your recovery or after your recovery, like the title of this stream says, when you start doing things in a different way, when you start moving a different way, when you start embracing the thoughts and feelings, instead of running, instead of fighting, instead of trying to change them, just embracing them. It is what it is. If that happens, so be it, right? When you start going at it about this way, you're making true changes to your brain, and you're going to feel these changes. And at first, they can feel a bit weird to you. Because again, how long have you been what we would consider an anxious person? How long have you been what we would consider a panicky person? How long have you been kind of bullied by anxiety and these thoughts, and now that you're turning the tables on them and embracing them, and you're not so dominated by them anymore, it's kind of a weird feeling, isn't it? It's kind of an odd feeling. Now, this mostly applies to my people who have already started using acceptance and they've started to make some progress, right? Because you wake up and you're starting to feel a bit better. Your world's not so dominated by anxiety anymore, and that feels very strange. Okay? And it's funny because I've heard people say, and I've experienced it myself, having anxiety over not having anxiety. It's like this old friend that you don't really like. You don't really get along with this person very well, right? Hopefully you are nowadays, but you used to not get along with this person very well. It's like this old friend, and when they're not around anymore, when they're not so dominant anymore, when they're not there pushing your buttons all the time anymore, that's very strange. It's kind of hard to get used to, right? But I promise, do not add second fear to this feeling, right? I know it can feel very odd, very out of place. Do not add second fear to this feeling. Your brain is trying to adjust back to what it means to not be so dominated by anxiety, to not be so dominated by these thoughts. Your brain is trying to adjust to your new approach to these thoughts and feelings. Your brain is starting to learn. And as it's learning, it's making real changes. And as it's making real changes, you're going to feel the effects of that. Okay? And that might not feel very normal to you. That might feel very odd to you, very strange to you, very foreign to you. Do not obsess over this feeling, right? Do not obsess over this feeling. Do not try to investigate too deeply into this feeling. It is what it is, right? That's how we get you to recovery in the first place, is to drop the second fear, aka the worry, towards these symptoms, towards these thoughts, just fully embracing them. It is what it is, so be it. Right? Not trying to fight anything or change anything. And that's what we need to continue to do with this if you experience this odd feeling of trying to adjust back into the real world. Right? So you feel the effects that the changes that are being made to your brain. You feel them. And that can be a very odd feeling. Okay? And I think that's the best way to put it. You are going to feel these effects happening. You're going to feel these changes, and they can feel a bit strange, right? But that's all they need to be. They can be left alone at just a bit strange. They don't have to be picked apart. They don't have to be pulled apart. They don't have to be investigated, right? When you start to investigate too deeply, what happens when you fight with the thoughts and feelings? Does anybody in chat know? You start to get more anxious, right? You keep yourself in this cycle. So what do you think happens when you fight with the feeling of feeling a bit weird? And you don't just leave it at feeling a bit weird. What happens if you don't leave it at feeling a bit weird and you take it a step further? Oh, God, what is this? Oh, God. You start getting back into second fear again, right? You start getting back into worry again. So I want you to kind of change your perspective, right? If you're starting to use acceptance, and again, this does not apply to everybody. I've met, plenty of people who have said, I've been using acceptance, I'm making progress, and they never mentioned to me one time about feeling a bit weird or odd. But if this does apply to you, right, and you're starting to kind of feel the effects of readjusting back into the real world again, and that's kind of strange or odd to you, if this does happen to you, understand that it doesn't need to be investigated, it doesn't need to be picked apart, it doesn't need to be pulled apart. It's the same concept as what we always do with the thoughts and feelings. We embrace them, we accept them because we know resistance is futile. We don't get going with the second fear, we don't get going with the worry, we just say, okay, it is what it is, I guess, right? Right? So, again, just to kind of wrap up the point of this stream, if you're using acceptance and you notice you're making progress and you're starting to adjust back to what it feels like to be in the real world again, you're starting to adjust back to what it feels like to not be so dominated by thoughts and feelings, that might feel a bit odd to you. And sometimes people call it, I'm anxious over not feeling anxious, right? That's how some people word that, right? And if this happens to you, if this happens to you. Understand this is first and foremost very normal. Secondly, understand that if you take a fish out of a fish tank that it's been in for its whole life for the past 10 years and you plop it in the ocean, right? It's probably going to be like, what the hell? This is weird. It's probably going to be like, this is strange, dude. Like, what is going on? I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know what this feeling is. You know, it's probably going to get a bit freaked out, right? So understand, very normal. Understand that you're going from one fish tank that you've lived in your whole life to a completely new ocean, right? And that can be a bit unsettling at first, but you will settle into it. You will settle into it. You will adjust to your new life that is not so dominated by anxiety. You will adjust to what it feels like to not be dominated by anxiety. And it's funny that we're even having this conversation, because anyone who's never experienced this is probably thinking, well, why would you complain about not feeling anxious? Well, just understand something. The people that quote unquote complain about not feeling anxious, it's just what they're used to, man. It's what they're used to. You might not necessarily like anxiety. You might not necessarily like what anxiety has, put you through, but at the same time, when you start using true acceptance and you start trying to adjust back into the real world, you start seeing changes going on, that might feel a bit weird. No matter how much you didn't like the anxiety, no matter how glad you are to be making progress, going from what is considered your norm has been this anxious person fighting with these thoughts and feelings your whole life, to this person that's adjusting back into not being so dominated by anxiety. No matter how much you didn't like that anxiety, or no matter how happy that you are that you're making progress, still going to feel a bit freaking weird, right? Still going to feel a bit freaking weird. If you lose a leg and you're used to not being able to walk, you're used to having one leg for the past 10, 15 years, you get a fake leg to walk on, that's going to feel a bit freaking weird, isn't it, to be able to walk around? You're going to be like, that's strange. That's strange. What is this, right? The fact that you were missing a leg, not pleasant. You probably didn't like it. But now you got another leg to stand on, and you're probably like, yeah, this is great and all, but what the hell? Yeah, this is great and all, but why am I not anxious, right? How am I walking again? So, you get what we're saying. No matter how happy you are to be making progress, or no matter how happy you are that you're finally using acceptance, when you have those moments where you're like, something's missing, and you realize that what's missing is that you're not so dominated by anxiety, right? You might feel a bit strange, okay? You might feel a bit strange. You might feel a bit odd. You might feel a bit funny, right? But we can leave it there. We don't have to take that any further. Just because you feel a bit strange, you're not necessarily anxious, right? But you just don't feel quite right. Okay, that's okay. You're adjusting. You're trying to adjust back into the real world again, right? And that's the way you should look at it. You should not pick it apart, investigate it, or pull it apart, or try to dig any deeper than that. Because for one, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to accomplish anything. And for two, it's normal. It's normal. I don't care. I'll say it one last time. I don't care how bad you hated your anxiety. I don't care how much you didn't like your anxiety. When you start making progress, true progress, you're embracing these thoughts and feelings, you start to see this true progress. I don't care how bad you hated your anxiety. That's going to feel weird as hell. It's going to feel weird as hell to not have your norm, right? Your norm might have been miserable, but it's still going to feel really weird to not have it, right? But do not worry. You will adjust. You will adjust, all right? So don't let that take you into obsession. Just understand that you're feeling the effects of a new brain and embrace it, right? Embrace it. So that was the point of today's stream, guys. But I do want to touch on just our basics, because we have been picking up viewers here recently, and I just want to cover, what the basics are. Whenever we do streams like this on a particular subject, I like to go ahead and tackle, what are our two main keys? That way, if you're new here, you don't know what the two main keys are, now you do. So the two main keys: stop fighting with your thoughts and feelings. That means if you get a thought that says you're going to go crazy, that's just one of a billion, trillion examples. If you get a thought that says you're going to go crazy, you don't try to argue with it. You just simply say, okay, guess I'll go crazy, and then you go back to living. The thought comes again, okay, guess I'll go crazy. Then you go back to living. So you're not trying to fight with the thought. You're not trying to push it away. You're just saying, okay, and you're going back to living. That's what it means to accept and face a thought and desensitize to it. So that's one of our two main keys. Stop fighting with the thoughts and feelings. Just use that accepting inner voice, embrace, right, and live your life. Liz. Liz, thank you so much. I will read that tip note in just a second. And live your life was our second main key. What does that mean? It means literally what it says. Live your life, do what you want to do, not what anxiety wants you to do. Go at your own pace, but that right there is the two main keys. Stop fighting with the thoughts and feelings. Just embrace them, accept them, even though I know that feels a bit scary, and live your life. This is how you show your brain that there is no real danger. All right, so Liz, thank you so much for the $6 tip. Says, out of everything else, acceptance has helped me the most with my mental health. Thank you for introducing me to it. That is awesome. I am happy to hear that. Can we give a round of applause in the chat to Liz? Thank you so much. All right, let me see what we got going on in chat. Let's read some chat. Head on over to post stream, get caught up with chat today. Thank you so much again, Liz. We got AC telling Ghost that she is going to beat his ass. What's new there? I'm just kidding. What's up, AC? All right, see if there's any questions, any comments that spike my interest here. The leg situation was my dad, LOL. He was like, fuck that leg shit. Feel funny to me. See, I mean, it's a good, analogy. It doesn't, and that was really my main point. It doesn't matter how much you hated to be an anxious person. When you start making progress and you start becoming a new person and you start feeling these changes and seeing these changes, doesn't matter how much you hated being that anxious person, you're still, in a way, going to be like, wow, this is weird. You're still, in a way, going to be like, wow, this is strange. Right? No matter how much you hated the anxiety, when that bastard, right? Probably shouldn't call it a bastard, but when that guy decides that he's going to give you a break because you start doing the work, you start teaching your brain, I don't care how much you hate anxiety, it's going to feel weird to you. It's going to feel a bit weird to you. Maybe more weird to others than some, but still, your norm's being taken away and you're going back out in the real world again. It's going to feel strange, man. It's going to feel strange. And that's okay. You'll adjust. You adjusted and hung on and survived through the anxiety before you even knew about acceptance. You'll adjust to going back out into the real world. And when I say going back out in the real world, I simply mean not being so dominated by anxiety. You'll adjust. What's up, Ivan? Good morning. Ivan says, is that what they call the letdown effect? I've never heard it called that, but yeah, you could call it that. I mean, you could call it that. Thank you, chat, for showing Liz some love. I appreciate it. Also, we got a $8 tip from Kay. I did not check that right away. Thank you so much, Kay, for the $8 tip. Can we show Kay in the chat some love, please? Thank you for the $8 Cash App. I appreciate you testing my basic math skills. You guys love to do that. There we go. Testing my basic math skills today. Let's see, who else we got in chat? Thank you again, Kay, for the $8 Cash App. Puts us at 14. We're on a 75-day streak, chat. I appreciate you. Let's get some music going while we wait on some more comments to roll in. Also, I'm glad I remembered this. Guess what, guys? I made a TikTok today. I know, right? I actually made a TikTok today. We're doing TikToks again, so follow me over on TikTok today. The video that we made over there today was about intrusive thoughts, so go check it out. Let's get some music going in here. What's up, Timeless? Let me know if the music's too loud or too low. Just let me know. It's definitely a practice, AP. It's definitely a practice, dude. Nobody's perfect. Little victories, man. Little victories add up. You start to gain a little bit more confidence each time. And that confidence building, it might be slow, right? Mine was slow. It might be slow, and that's okay. But we're going to build that confidence little by little. Little victories. Moving in a different way, acting in a different way. Using that accepting inner voice, right? No longer fighting with the thoughts and feelings. Just saying it is what it is. Bring it on, man. If it happens, it happens, right? Practicing that, practicing that. We love the word practice. Practice. Slowly building confidence, slowly practicing. It's not all at once. It doesn't happen all at once. It doesn't happen overnight. Little victories add up. Confidence slowly adds up. Don't be too hard on yourself thinking, man, I can't do this. I crack every time. No, just try to build confidence little by little. Just try to practice little by little. I always tell people they can go at their own pace as long as you're going, right? You're allowed to go at your own pace as long as you're going. So, and all I mean by that is as long as you're using the advice, you're allowed to go at your own pace. You can't sit around and not be trying to practice these skills and say, well, I'm just going at my own pace. Well, no, you're just not trying. But, you know, if you're trying to practice the skills, go at your own pace. What's another example, Chad, of an intrusive thought and how we would handle it? So let's say you get an intrusive thought that says, oh, I'll never recover, right? There's a thought, oh, I'll never recover. What do you say to that? You try to fight with that and argue with that, and, you know, you get an intrusive thought that says, oh, you're going to be like this forever. You say, okay, whatever. Right? Whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. It's pointless. I've heard it called before that trying to fight with your thoughts is like trying to get into the ring with Muhammad Ali. It's not going to happen. You're going to get your shit rocked, dude. Right? It might bring you some momentary relief to argue with the thoughts, but it's just keeping you in a very stressed out cycle in the end. You're just getting beat the hell up in the end. So best to stay out of the ring and just accept it for what it is. Just say, okay, it is what it is. Whatever you say, big guy, but I'm not going to get into the ring with you because I'm sick of getting my ass beat. I'm not going to get into the ring with you because I'm sick of getting my ass beat. And a lot of people are going to continue to get their ass beat until they realize that the only way around fear is that there is no way around fear. You got to go through it. So that means you just simply allow it. So the thought says this big bad thing is going to happen. Okay, so be it. You don't obsess about it. You just say, okay, thank you for that, right? And then go back to living. You don't sit there and obsess about it. You just say, okay, thank you for that, and go back to living. You don't try to go around it anymore, right? Share, thank you so much for the $20 tip. Oh, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that, Share. Can we get a big shout out in the chat for Share? Thank you. Takes us up to 34. Thank you so much for that. 75-day streak, 34. I love you guys. Thank you. I'm glad you guys seem to enjoy today's stream. Let's see. Kate, thank you for that. Yes, do not forget to like the stream. It really helps the channel out. You know, see, the thing about acceptance is a lot of people learn about it, right? And this is big. I need you all to put your listening hats on, right? Because this is probably, this is at least a few of you. I would say with 100% certainty, this is at least a few of you in chat right now. The thing about acceptance is people learn about it. But when these thoughts come, they still have something to say. They still don't shut the fuck up. When these thoughts come, they still try to prove them wrong. That was me for a very long time, dude. I went around saying, yes, I accept acceptance. I'm an accepting person. This accepting thing is great. Dr. Claire Weeks, la-di-da, right? But then the next time I would experience a negative intrusive thought that would come into my head and say, oh, big bad thing's going to happen, I would say, oh, God, no. Let me tell you why that's not going to happen. Oh, God, I got a plan if that does happen. Let me tell you about my plan. I got a plan, Mr. Mind. I got the plan right here. Let me tell you about the plan. And then my mind would say, oh, let me show you all the loopholes in your plan. And then I would say, oh, God, loopholes. And here, let me plug those loopholes. I got plans for that, too. And then my mind would say, oh, you didn't think about this. And I would do this for day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out. You learn about acceptance, you claim to use acceptance, but when these thoughts come around and they bring these strong feelings of anxiety and panic, you're still trying to plug holes. As long as you're trying to plug holes, you're not going through it, you're not facing it, you're not accepting it. There can be no more trying to plug the loopholes. So the mind says, oh, big bad thing's going to happen. If you want to truly face and accept and desensitize, you have to say, okay, I hope big bad thing's going to happen. And then go back to living your life. I don't mean sit there and obsess about this big bad thing. I simply mean respond to it with, you know what, I hope it's going to happen. Thank you for that. And then you go back to picking your nose, right? That's how you score a point. I've heard it called that before. I forget what book I read that in, but I've heard it called that. That's how you score a point, right? By saying thank you for that, I'm not going to fuel the fire. I'm not going to try to plug any loopholes. I'm just going to say, okay, if it happens, it happens. And then I'm going to let that anxiety rush. I'm going to let that even panic rush, right? If it happens, it happens. And then I go back to picking my nose. And then 2 seconds later, the thought says, big bad thing's going to happen. I don't try to stop it. I don't try to plug any loopholes. I don't try to problem solve. I just said, okay, well, if it happens, it happens. The anxiety comes. Look, I know this stuff's not comfortable, but I'm just telling you how you get out. Anxiety comes, big bad thought. You say, okay, thank you for that. You just scored a point. You say, okay, thank you for that. Go back to picking your nose, right? Right? Ghost. Ghost, is that really Ghost? Is that really Ghost? Is that the Ghost? Ghost, did you just make your first ever tip, or was that somebody just putting your name down? Because we got sneaky people that do that. I don't know exactly who that was, but thank you so much for the $10 tip. Says from Ghost, so we'll give the credit to Ghost. 44, man, thank you guys so much. Show our tippers some love. Show our tippers some love. Also, guys, next stream that we're going to do, I don't want to make any promises, because things can change, right? So no promises, but my plan as of right now is that the next stream we're going to do is going to be on these intrusive thoughts, because I still, and I know I've said this for years, man, but I still get the feeling that there's a lot of people that claim to use acceptance, but then when these big bad thoughts roll around, they're still trying to plug loopholes, man. I get the idea. You know what gives me that idea, chat? You know what gives me that idea more than anything is because that was me. That was me for so long. I claimed to use acceptance for so long, but I was still plugging all the loopholes. I claimed to use acceptance for so long, but every time my mind would tell me, oh, something bad's gonna happen, here's your trigger, I would say, let me fight with you because I don't want that to happen. And then the next day I'd say, yep, I'm good at this. It wasn't until I got smacked in the fucking jaw with reality where I looked in the mirror and said, all right, how long have you known about acceptance? Me to myself, quite a while. Are you using it? Yeah. Wait a minute, are you really? Are you really? Last time you had a big bad wolf of a negative intrusive thought come and all these anxiety symptoms, did you really just respond to that thought with, okay, it is what it is, thank you for that, if it happens, it happens, and then go back to washing the dishes? Did you do that, self? Last time you had a big bad wolf of an intrusive thought? And then I would say, no. No, I didn't do that. I fought with it. I tried to problem solve. So me to myself, well then, dude, you can't claim acceptance, man. You're not doing it. You're not using it, man. Right? You're not using it. You can't say you're facing these thoughts when these thoughts come and you try to fight with them and argue with them and plug loopholes. You can't do that. Right? You can't claim to use acceptance when you're not using acceptance. So that's the reality check that I had to have with myself. And hopefully, if you're watching this, that you have a reality check right now, right? I never said it would be easy, but at least now you know you're not doing it. And if you know you're not doing it, you can start doing it. Sherry in chat says, that's me, Chris, for 4 years now. Don't worry about it. That was me for a very long time. I knew about Dr. Claire Weeks. I knew about acceptance. I knew about embracing the thoughts. I knew all about anxiety and OCD or whatever label you want to give it. I knew all about how to get out of the cycle. Was I doing it? Nope. Nope. Every time a thought would come around, I'd fight with it. Every time an intrusive thought would say something bad's going to happen, I would try to figure it out. I'd try to problem solve, right? And eventually I had to slap myself in the face with reality. Hey, man, you know all about this acceptance stuff. You ain't doing it. I had to say, damn, you're right. I'm not doing it. Every time I get a thought, I'm trying to problem solve. Every time I get a thought, I'm trying to push it away. Every time I get a thought, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't happen, right? I had to slap myself in the face with reality. And hopefully, if that's you, right, you can slap yourself in the face with reality, and we can start to make some real changes here. Get excited. If you're watching this stream right now and you're like, damn, he's right, I haven't been doing this. I'm still trying to problem solve. I'm not just saying thank you to these thoughts or it is what it is and saying, okay, if it happens, it happens, and then going back to living. I'm not doing that. I'm still fighting. If that's you right now making that realization, don't be frustrated by that. Be happy. Because now that you've made that realization, we can do something with that. We can't do anything with denial. We can't do anything with lies. We can't do anything with lying to yourself. But you know what we can do something with? Slapping yourself in the face with reality. Right? That's what we can do something with. But we can't do anything with denial. We can't. As long as you're in denial, we can't go anywhere. We're stuck. We're stuck. But if you can be honest with yourself and say, damn, I haven't been doing that. When these thoughts come, I'm still trying to problem solve. If you can be honest with yourself, we can work from that starting today, right? So get excited about it. Get excited about it. Like, holy shit, I just realized what the problem is. I just realized why this shit's not working for me. Because I haven't been doing it. Right? Get excited over that realization because we can turn it around now. We can turn it around now. So I hope that helps you out, Sherry, and anybody else who finds himself in a similar boat. We got Maddie in chat. What's up, Maddie? So that wasn't you, Ghost? I didn't think it was you because I remembered you telling me you didn't have any way to tip or whatever. So I wasn't sure because people love doing that. But hey, somebody wrote Ghost, so we're giving all the credit to Ghost because that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. So we're giving all the credit to Ghost for that $10 tip. Hey, just waking up. Well, I hope you have a great day, Maddie. Hope you have a great day, gorgeous. Accept it, nah, I won't. Come on, Ghosty. Come on, Ghosty boy. Now, if you're one of those people who watch the stream and you're like, damn, he's right, I've not been doing that when these thoughts and feelings come around. Okay, and you decided that, you know what, that's a good thing. Now I'm honest with myself, I can make some changes, right? If you're one of those people, you're probably now thinking to yourself, well, damn, what lies ahead of me? I'm going to finally start to do it. What lies ahead of me? Don't go there. Don't go there. Just do it and see what happens, right? Oh, shit, the comments are froze. No, you're right, David. Let's see if that fixes it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, there we go. They're not frozen anymore. Jesus Christ. Thanks for calling that out, David. I would have never noticed. I read the comments on a totally different screen, so I wouldn't have noticed that the live comments were frozen. I love this community. Well, we love you too, Ghosty boy. We love you too. It wasn't your choice to get credited, but you know how it is, man. That's how people are in this community. They tip and they leave other people's names just to give them credit, so we're rolling with it. Hello, Wonder Bro. What's up, Pootie? It had to get caught up, man. I figured it would just load back in like normal. I didn't think you would have to scroll through every single one to get caught back up. That was kind of fun to watch, not gonna lie. That was kind of fun to watch. Alright guys, we're having a dance party. We got some rave music going on. I want everyone dancing as they watch the stream. Don't care how anxious you are. I want you dancing. And when thoughts come that say I shouldn't be dancing because I'm going to go crazy, you're going to say, okay, let's go crazy. And you're going to dance, right? Let's go. Let's go. I want everyone to copy Jack Black on screen there. Hey, I love the aggressive approach, Pootie. Not trying to fight with these thoughts and feelings. Just saying, it is what it is and getting right back into living life. I love it. Hey, what's up? Oh, fuck, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to mess it up. Bo? Yeah? Yeah, did I get it? I think I got it. I think I got it. You guys would be a hard crew to DJ for, but we would try. We would try. We'd have a few people in the corner with panic, right? We might have some frozen. We might have some trying to find the exit, but we'd still try. We'd still try. We got it. We got it. Pooty on Discord. Pooty is not on Discord. Hey, on a very real note, all jokes aside, on a very real note, we've got a lot of people in this community that have made great progress, a lot of people who have made it to the other side and recovered, a lot of people, right, who have changed their lives. Every single day, almost every single stream, I won't say every stream, but almost every stream, we got at least 2 people popping in saying, hey, you know, my life has changed, my life's different, I'm feeling so much better. Or we got people coming in saying, I'm so close, I feel so much better. You know, that can be you, but you got to give yourself a reality check. Are you actually using it when these thoughts come? Are you still trying to problem solve? Yes or no, right? You got to have that reality check. Oh, I didn't even notice that, Maddie. That's funny. I didn't even know you misspelled it. Whoever donated on my name, I just want to say thank you. You didn't have to do it, but I really adore you. Yeah, that was sweet. You definitely got the right approach going on, Pooty. You've had the right approach going on for a little while now, and you're starting to see the progress, man. You said the other day that you're feeling physically so much better, so just keep it up, dude. Look, I know it's not the easiest shit in the world. I know, but how well is the problem solving going for you, man? That's the question we gotta ask ourselves. How well's the problem solving going? I know acceptance isn't the easiest thing in the world at first. It does get easier, right? It does get easier, but I know it's not the easiest thing in the world to embrace these thoughts. Makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. But how well has the problem solving been going for you? It's put you in this cycle. That's far worse in my opinion. That's far worse in my opinion. What is the name of the playlist? Yeah, I picked a new one today just to try to switch it up. The name of this playlist is Best Non-Copyrighted Music of 2018. That is the title of this video. That doesn't really tell you much, but... Oh, we got an ad. Comments froze again? Why do they keep doing that? Is it because the chat's going so fast today? Because chat really is on the ball today, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but... Oh yeah, people have definitely been there, Sandy. Yeah, I mean, being honest with yourself plays a huge part in recovery. You can forget about recovery. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer, but you can forget about recovery, man, if you can't be honest with yourself, right? I wasn't honest with myself for a long time. I was still fighting with every fucking thought that popped in my head. I was still trying to problem solve. I wasn't saying, okay, thank you for that. I hope it does happen. I don't care, right? Whatever you want to, whatever accepting reminder you want to give yourself. I wasn't doing that for a very long time, and I had to get honest with myself. So you can forget about recovery if we can't be honest with ourselves. You have to be honest with yourself. I'm not saying that to try to sound like a douche. I'm saying that because I want to see you succeed. But if you're not using the advice, then you're not using the advice, right? And if you choose to want to use the advice, well, then we gotta ask you, are you really using it? Yes or no, right? What's up, Dwayne? Concentration and focus back on the real world, Omar, should become more natural to you as you heal. It's not something that I would try to force. right? Because then again, you're going to get back up in your head again and fighting with these thoughts and feelings, and that's what we don't want to do. So I wouldn't try to force anything. I would just know that as you use the advice, concentration on the outside world should become a little bit more natural to you. Comments are froze again, and I don't know why. That's the third time we've flipped it over, so I don't know. I guess we're just going to let it go for now. Maybe Streamlabs is just broken today. All right, beautiful people. I'm going to give me something to drink real quick. I'll be right back. All right, chat, we've got some big news. We've got some big news here. First and foremost, we got Truth coming in with a $6 tip that takes us to tip goal. To tip goal. Big round of applause in the chat for Truth. Breaking tip goal, man. Also, big round of applause for my boy Dwayne, man, coming in with the $50 cash app. Dwayne coming in with a $50 cash app. What a stream, man. I appreciate you guys. Somebody in chat tell me, were we at 76 or do we need to take it to 77? I don't know, I'm going to leave it at 77, turn it up a notch. There we go. Thank you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Huge shout out to Dwayne, Truth, Ghost, Share. Make sure I didn't leave anybody out here. Liz, thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate it. Man. What would I do without you guys? What would I do without you guys? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We are 77. Yes, we are 77. Okay, I got it right. We double tip goal. We absolutely did, man. Huge shout out to all the tippers today, guys. I really appreciate that. Seriously. Seriously, I do. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Huge, huge shout out, guys. Huge shout out. I think we were at 44, right? And then true tip 6. So that takes us to 50. And then Dwayne with the 50. Yeah, so that should be right. Should be right. Thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate it. I'll be honest. When I started the stream today, I was like, this doesn't seem like a topic that many people will be interested in. But a few people have asked me about it, so you know what? We might as well cover it just to have it in the archives. But wow, what a stream. What a stream this has turned out to be. I know you're good, David. I love it when you guys try to help me keep track of things because I'm not the best at it. So I appreciate the effort. I'm all the time messing up the numbers and shit. Hey, that's the nature of the beast when we're talking about anxiety, OCD, whatever you want to call it, man. That's the nature of the beast. It's not comfortable, right? It's not comfortable. That need for certainty is a strong one. It's a habit, and it's a very strong habit. But that is, I mean, what you just describes the nature of the beast. But I'm telling you, the cycle, so miserable. But I don't have to tell you that part because you already know that part. So keep practicing at it. Keep working at it. You're making progress. Much love, my friend. I fell back to let the advice work. What's up, Dwayne? Welcome, dude. And thank you so much again, man. Thank you so much again for the $50 tip. Told you the topic was lit at the top. You did. You did. You called it. You called it. Truth says, have to go. Art is getting messy now. Enjoy it, Truth. Enjoy it. Well, it gives me the real name, Ghost, but I'm just going to pretend like it was from you because that's what they wanted. I'll tell you it wasn't Jesse, though. Oh, yeah, so Style Alert says, hi, Wonder Bro, I'll need to hear this one later. I definitely feel I'm on that stage, like, what comes next type feeling. Yeah, it's like, well, I told the chat it was like taking a fish out of a fish bowl that it's been in for 10 years and putting it in the ocean. Feels a bit different, and it takes some time to adjust, right? I also made the point that no matter how bad you hated your anxiety, right, when it starts to kind of not be so dominant in your life anymore, it's a bit strange because you're not used to that. You're just not used to it, right? You're not used to it, and whenever we're not used to something, that can feel weird. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. If you're not used to something, it feels different. It feels weird. It feels weird. Hey, we've been on this journey. We've been on this journey for a little bit, Mint, and I can honestly say that you have made progress. I can see it. I can see it, and I know your mind's trying to throw you some doubt, but I can see it. That's what the mind likes to do. Worst case scenario type situation. Always thought OCD and anxiety was two different things. It's two different labels, but at the same time, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same boat, right? Obsessive compulsive, it can be pure O, which means it's all mentally you're trying to argue with thoughts or whatever. Or it can be physically you're a germaphobe and you gotta clean the doorknob or whatever. But it all comes back to anxiety. It all comes back to how do you heal it? By facing it. How do you heal it? By desensitizing to it. How do you desensitize to it? Embracing it, right? So I mean, yeah, they're technically different labels, but it all, the way that you heal it is the same. So do we even need to use the different labels? I don't think so. If the way that we heal it is the same, then I don't think we need to even worry about different labels, because at that point it's kind of irrelevant. Now, if there was like two different cures, two different ways to heal it, okay, here's how you heal anxiety and here's how you heal OCD, and then maybe we would use the labels. But since we heal it all the same, it doesn't really matter. Oh no, you've definitely made huge progress, Mint, and as we say, this is a journey. It's not like an overnight thing. So, you might have some doubt still left. You might have some old habitual type thoughts still left, but we're working on it. We're working on it. One day you won't doubt as much, right? It's a process. It's weird having music on stream that's actually got words in it. Not used to that. Most of our playlists that we've been using nowadays are just like instrumentals. It can be a gradual process, Ivan, absolutely. It doesn't mean that you can't make quick progress, but it is a gradual process, right? Like you can make hella progress pretty quickly, and acceptance can take the edge off pretty instantly. But those real results, those concrete results, you're right. It's a gradual process. Nope, I agree with you 150 million%, Bo. I left the live to do a few things and came back. The donations are at 100. Damn, yeah. Chat is popping off today, man. I'm so grateful. I used to do the check on things like 5 times. I broke that habit long ago, but definitely I agree, no labels, because it got me confused. No, absolutely no labels. There's really no point in it. Like I said, if there was a different way that you approach like obsessive compulsive and anxiety in general, which anxiety is an umbrella term, first and foremost. Anxiety is a term that's an umbrella term. It's used to describe multiple different things. But like the comments said, it all comes back to fear, and you got to desensitize your brain to these triggers. So whether you've got the label of obsessive compulsive placed on you, or whether you've got the label of just general anxiety, or whatever label that's been placed on you, you got to understand that the way we heal, it's all the same. So the label's irrelevant at that point. If there was different ways to heal different things as far as this fear goes, then maybe the labels would be helpful, but they're not. They're not, because the advice doesn't change. I got somebody who comes to me and says, hey, I got OCD, right? I'm going to say, okay, well, when these triggers come, we got to embrace them. We got to stop using coping methods. We got to stop using compulsions. That's my advice to you. That's my personal advice to you, right? And then I got somebody comes to me and says, hey, I got labeled with generalized anxiety. I say, okay, well, when you're feeling triggered, we got to embrace the thoughts, embrace the feelings, just say it is what it is. Stop trying to problem solve. Let it happen. Right? So the advice doesn't change either way. Yeah, that's absolutely correct, Mint. There is such a thing as puro. Puro means it's obsessive compulsive. That's all done in the mind. You're trying to problem solve in the mind. Anyone who's ever been sensitized would probably, at that rate, be told that they have puro. But see, this is why the labels just get confusing and are just so freaking useless. Because we're going to heal all this the same anyway. It doesn't matter. 2 main keys, right? No, absolutely, Mint. I'm glad that finding the channel made you realize that you do have compulsions. Most people get slapped with the anxiety label oh, you have anxiety, right? Most people get slapped with that because it's an umbrella term. It's used to describe so many different things, right? So we just slap them with the label of anxiety. You have anxiety. Some people get a more specific label. Oh, you have obsessive compulsive. But then I'm just over here thinking, well, what are you going to tell the person with obsessive compulsive to do? And anybody who knows anything about any of this stuff is going to say, well, I'm going to tell them to desensitize, break their compulsions, embrace their triggers, and let it happen. And then I'm going to say, well, what are you going to tell the person that you said they just have anxiety to do? Oh, well, I'm going to tell them to break the compulsions, to desensitize, to embrace the thoughts and feelings. And I'm going to say, okay, well, then why'd you bother with the labels, right? Why'd you bother with the labels if we're treating it the same way? And somebody comes and says, oh, well, you know, they got agoraphobia, and then I say, well, what are you going to tell them to do about it? And they say, well, I'm gonna tell them to embrace it and drop the compulsions and stop fighting with the thoughts and feelings and desensitize to it. Well, again, why'd you even bother with the labels then? Right? Not sure why the live chat on screen is frozen like 4 or 5 times today. 6 times at this point, but we're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess. Exactly, Mint. Exactly. I couldn't said it better myself. The treatment that you were given for your quote-unquote generalized anxiety didn't work because you had a bunch of mental compulsions going on. You were still trying to plug loopholes and problem solve and doing all that, giving these thoughts and feelings importance, sending the wrong message to the brain. You were doing all that. They didn't even know it because they gave you the generalized anxiety label. Didn't know you had a bunch of compulsions going on. So that's why we just drop the labels all together and say, hey, 2 main keys, take it, run with it. I don't care what label you got. If you want some advice, here it is. You don't have to use it. It's your choice, right? I'm not making you use it, but you know, whatever label that's been placed on you, here's the 2 main keys. I promise it covers it. Right? Did I miss comments here? Styles' question was a good one. Let me see. Hold on, I think we're coming to the end of our... No, we're not. No, we're not. Thought we were coming to the end of our music here. I'm trying to find his answer. I'm all confused. I'm all confused. Are we referring to the Wonder Bro why do symptoms change question? Is that what we're referring to, chap? I can help you out. I can help you out. I can help you out. Yes, okay, that is the question you're referring to. Well, most people do have a symptom set, right? And when I say symptom set, I simply mean a set of symptoms that you're used to. So sometimes those symptoms can change up a bit. Sometimes those symptoms can change up a bit. Normally what happens is the symptoms that you give the most attention to are the ones that are on the forefront of your mind, right? So I've got people that come to me with the same symptom sets. Okay, I experienced this symptom with my anxiety, this symptom with my anxiety, and this symptom with my anxiety. And then I got the other person coming to me telling me the same thing, right? Person A is more concerned about blah, blah, blah symptoms. Person B is more concerned about blah, blah, blah symptoms. So each person is going to experience those symptoms what feels like more than the other person, but that's because it's what they're worried about. It's what's on the forefront of their mind. The mind's a powerful thing, right? So if person A is so worried about the rapidly beating heart, then they're probably going to be consumed by it, and they're going to feel it because they're so hyper focused on it that it's at the forefront of their mind. Person B is not worried about the rapidly beating heart. They're worried about what's another example? The shaky legs, the jelly legs, right? So they're not worried about the rapid beating heart. It's not on the forefront of their mind. They don't really mind it. They don't really care about it, right? So they're going to experience the shaky jelly legs a little bit more. Same can be said about your question, why do symptoms change? One day you might be more worried about this symptom than the next symptom, so that's what's going to be on your mind more. The next day you might be more worried about this symptom, so that's going to be on your mind more. So you see what we're saying? Your symptom set probably doesn't change as often as you think it does, but your focus does, right? Does that make any sense? Oh shit, I gotta chill, man. Give me a minute. I want to be chill. Hey, what's up, Travis? What's up, Tony? And, of course, symptoms can come and go, too. Sometimes symptom can be there and sometimes symptom cannot be there. And then, of course, your focus is going to change to the symptoms that are there. Now that I know about acceptance, I realize my past therapists have been more or less trying to get me to acceptance, but in a way that a sensitized person wouldn't get. No, that's understandable. That's understandable. People have different ways of explaining it, so some ways speak more to others than some, and that's why I try to knock out every way that you could possibly explain it. That's why I try to leave no stone unturned. I know that some of my streams are going to speak to some people more than others, right? And vice versa. That's why we try to put it in so many different ways. I mean, at the end of the day, the advice is super simple, but sometimes you have to hear it in like a million different ways. Hey, that's a good way to put it too, Maddie. I wasn't necessarily anxious about the job as more as I was anxious about being anxious. But, that's where we get to the point where we say context is irrelevant. Doesn't matter what your triggers are. All right, beautiful people. We just passed that 1 hour mark. I love you guys. I love you guys so very much. What a great stream today. I appreciate it. Give yourselves a big old pat on the back, man. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for watching. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Let me see. Do I got any announcements to make? I don't think we have any announcements to make today. But thank you guys so much, man, for doubling Tip Gold moving on to a 77-day streak. I love you. I appreciate you so very much. You got this. You got this. It's your time to shine. Take it. All right? Thank you guys for watching. I love you. 10.4K right around the corner. Let's do it. I'll see you guys very, very soon. And until next time, as always, stay awesome.